have a funded government. That's right. The Congress did their job. Kevin McCarthy did the thing, and we were able to pass a continuing resolution to fund the government for the next 45 days, people. So, hey, smoke if you got them. A pack probably won't last you 45 days, depending on how you smoke. But Joe Biden did sign this law, this stopgap bill to avert the government shutdown passed by Congress just hours ahead. This was Saturday morning, hours ahead of that critical midnight deadline when funding for federal agencies was set to run out. The measure will keep the government open only through November 17th. It includes natural disaster aid, but not additional funding for Ukraine or border security. It also includes a measure to keep the FAA operational. Cool, that's good. I do have an upcoming flight, so it'd be great if the FAA was funded through that. Not to make it all about me and everyone who flies. But again, it was basically, as Representative AOC described, a clean bill. Just a basic clean bill. It didn't have a lot of the shenanigans, the crazy stuff the Republicans wanted to add in or strip away, like effectively, defunding a bunch of public schools, defunding the DOD for all the anti-defund language. It also doesn't have additional money for Ukraine, but that is expected to pass separately. Who voted on this? Well, it was 335 to 91. And who were the 91 people? Well, it was one Democrat who voted against and 90 Republicans. So truly, this was a Kevin McCarthy and Democrat joint. This was what they got passed, literally and figuratively, a joint. However, before that, of course, everyone was bracing. Federal agencies were bracing to close if no stopgaps were enacted. The armed forces and other so-called essential workers, such as air traffic controllers, airport security workers, and of course, the Fat Bear contest in Alaska would have remained. Oh no, they wouldn't have remained on the job, but a few people would have remained on the job, but without pay until the standoff was resolved. Food and medical assistance to millions of low-income mothers and children would have also been in jeopardy. I mean, we talked about this on the main show. There were a lot of, when the government shuts down federal workers, they're going without pay. These air traffic controllers are going without pay. They don't get back pay, people. They don't get the money that they would have made at any point in time. Kind of crazy, but Ray, I wanted to kick it to you about what we just did. Yay for Congress doing the bare minimum, and we'll get into all the cat fights in a little bit.
Yeah, so obviously stopgap measure, but it's good that it was a clean bill because what the Republicans have been proposing essentially is a defund everything that's important in our government and then give lots of money to militias along the border to shoot migrants is what they're essentially what the budget that they've been trying to pass was all about, which does make me a little bit right now. What I see is, and we're going to talk about this in a second, but there's, for the Republicans who are always talking about how there's a civil war in this country, there's currently a civil war within the Republican Party between Kevin McCarthy on one side and Matt Gaetz on the other, although ideologically there's not a lot of difference between the two of them, but there's this power struggle going on within the Republican Party, and the Democrats have all the power now because of this dispute between them. Which is why we saw, 90 Republicans voted against this, but all but one Democrats voted for it. Kevin McCarthy is relying on the Democrats to help pass whatever he's going to try to pass because he's not going to be able to cut a deal with Matt Gaetz and the far right branch of his own party because it's not about ideological difference. Like I said, it's about wanting the power that he has, wanting to see him deposed from his throne, so to speak. So they're not going to cut a deal with him. That he's given them everything they've ever wanted, and they're still fighting him over it. They got impeachment, and they're still mad about it. That was one of their biggest asks. They got it. They're still PO'd for whatever reason because it's not about the policy. So what I want to see is the Democrats come out strong and not capitulate, and not when we do actually see them pass a real budget, not just a continuing resolution. I want to see them not capitulate to this increase in funding for ICE and while defunding all of our other essential programs, because I think that the Democrats have in the past showed a weakness and a willing to give in to acquiesce to the demands of the right wing in times when they don't need to. This is a time they don't need to. They have a lot of power. Let's pass a real budget. Let's make Kevin McCarthy increase funding for essential services and and not cut the things that he's been flirting with cutting. So I just want to see a strong Democratic fight here for a really good budget.
Right, and if there's any time to do it, it's now, because as you mentioned, there is infighting within the Republican Party. They have no idea what they want. They're not in agreement on anything. Every time they get something, they get mad and throw a tantrum and throw it down and are like, no, I didn't want that toy. And so it's like, well, okay, I really don't know what we're working with here. I do think it's important to note that like President Biden and like whoever is running POTUS's Twitter account has been very, very spicy in terms of, the statement from the White House has been, this should have never happened. This is absolutely absurd. I believe there was some sort of statement from the White House on Twitter that was like, oh, good, baby step, next step, actually pass resolution. This was initially when Kevin McCarthy was like, we've got some progress, or however many articles of agreement they were working on. But it seems like you're right, that at the end of the day, McCarthy relied on people who are in the office of power, in their congressional seats, to actually run government and to represent people, not people who are there to throw tantrums. And so, hey, guess he's a sellout? I don't know.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.